Russia invaded a sovereign country of 40-something million people with tanks, with combined arms, the way we do modern military. All the pieces he moved at once. Special forces helicoptering in, airlifted in, rocket bombardment, paratroopers, tanks, armored vehicles, everything.
So I have some Army friends. A lot of Army people are into paramotors, and they're laying out like they're bringing in the LL-88s or whatever the fuck they are, and they're like, this tells me that they feel comfortable bringing in the big planes. This tells me that they've taken out all the air defenses. This tells me it's about to get way worse, and thousands of troops and heavy artillery is about to roll in via airplane. Oh, and by the way, I pointed out they're doing this in Kiev, I think, which is the capital.
Well, and apparently they reclaimed the Kiev airport, though.
I'm out of date then. Okay.
Yeah, I was reading just this morning that so Russia bombed it, landed paratroopers and took it, and then they fought back and Ukraine has reclaimed it. So, but it's so hard to find like proper information on everything. It's
what do you know?
That's what they're saying. Yeah,
Taylor,
there's
I apologize. I was saying, yeah, like Woody was saying, I saw that thing that was like the Kiev airport has fallen, but like by the time you get news that they got retaken, it could have fallen again. Like it doesn't feel like it's a very quick streamline of info.
When they retook it, did they get those big planes? What happened to thousands of people that were in it? Like, how much
did they retake? Did they get the Cinnabon? or the whole?
What I took from that
important part.
What I took from that was that they landed like special forces there or something, like maybe 30 guys, and those 30 guys killed a bunch of people at the airport and locked it down. And then the Ukrainians, because they lived there and there are millions of them, sent in like a bunch of people and killed those people, and now they have it again. That's what it sounded
Jack
like.
says, as of 7 hours ago, it's under Russian control. Good information is hard to come by. Oh, and by the way, as you're listening to this on Saturday, I'm sure this is totally relevant.
Oh, yeah. Look, everything we say is going to be wrong.
Although, man, there's not even going to be Ukraine by Saturday, man.
Right?
So maybe maybe we don't give like
refer to it as
at this very moment they are crossing the that's a relevant conversation. But like just the fact that he's done this and the way he's done this, like so
it's wild.
Like he just doesn't give a fuck here. There's no real pretense. He's got the he's coming from Belarus as well, from the north. I didn't see any simulations show anything like that.
His like whole pretense is it's like a total throwback though, like because I don't know if you guys know the history of the region, but like Ukraine and Russia and Belarus used to be all the same country, and then they split. Kiev was the capital in the Kievan Rus like ages ago. This is like 6th century, but so they split, and then Moscow was in charge of the Ukraine, and then when they joined USSR, they gave them Crimea as like a show of trust, and then they wanted it back after they left the USSR, and they were like, "No, we're keeping that." So when they took it back, they were like, "Yeah, this actually belongs to Russia." So it's like confusing.
I was trying to understand, like wrap my head around how big that front is, extending from like Belarus and wrapping all the way back around to Odessa, whatever the fuck that is, in the southern sea down there. Like I was trying to wrap my head how big that is, and so I found an overlay of Ukraine like over the United States, because that's what I've driven across. It seems like it's like 3 or 4 states that they've got there. It's like
one of the bigger European countries. Yeah.
It's like
the second biggest European country.
Like just that front seems to be like the entire coast from like Georgia to the top of North Carolina or something at least. Like it's several hundred miles, I think.
And it's the amount of shelling and like where these troops are seemingly everywhere, and the tanks. Like, I guess it's no surprise, but it's like, holy smokes, this is for real.
Yeah, there's way more like, I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know shit about it, but like I always had in my head that like, oh, invasions now are going to go lighter on tanks. It's not World War II. But like the clips I saw, dozens and dozens, like hundreds of tanks rolled out. And like you see them like in normal streets, like people are like parting their blinds with like their phone. And you can like see tanks going by with like a megaphone, like, which I have no idea what that means. Probably stay in your fucking house or you will wish you had. Like, that's,
I think tanks are a huge part of land combat, especially this kind where he's I mean, he's conquering a country right now. What's curious, and maybe we could even take bets on this if it's not too disrespectful to do so, is what we think the outcome of this thing is going to be. Because like it could go a few ways, right? Like he could just conquer the whole fucking country and say, this is Russia now. He could install a puppet government if he's able to like take out if he's able to capture the capital and maybe even take out the leadership, or at least get the leadership to flee, because as of right now the leadership is still in place in Kiev, hiding somewhere, I'm sure.
Really?
And yes,
this is like
they
so much disparate stuff. I thought I saw something about some high level Ukrainian leadership guy like booking it.
I mean, maybe some high level leadership.
They
maybe
recommended that he left.
Maybe like the treasurer of state left, and that would fit the bill. But like
Maybe,
the prime minister, like who is it? A prime minister in Ukraine?
Volodymyr Zelensky.
Zelensky is still there, and he is.
He got told to leave.
He got told.
I would hope so. That'd be terrible.
You can't leave.
He just
no,
left.
you can't leave. You can't leave.
No, he was like, no, fuck
does the
that.
captain go down with the ship?
Yes.
Or does the captain go somewhere safer to control the ship?
No, the captain goes down with the ship.
Yeah. He can't be like,
I
mean, he's been saying stuff like,
if you
lose,
because this isn't a scenario where like he could go to like Germany and chill for 3 years, and Vladimir Putin's going to be like, all right, I give. Y'all talked me into it. Take Kiev back and you be the boss. That is never going to happen. So it's
they probably want to instill the previous president, because he was like really pro-Russia, and then he got voted out. Like he landslide elections. They told him he fled to Russia after he got voted out.
Well,
and so they probably want to try and install him again. But
I've seen some really crazy military stuff, and people have been asking me, what's this gun? What's that gun? I'm like, guys, I don't fucking know every AK variant. But like going through the footage, like there were those 2 gentlemen that were captured. 2 Russians were captured, and they've got their gear laid out on the ground. They got a picture of these 2 guys. They look like they're like 19, 20 years old, like little guys.
Kids, dude.
And they've both got like AK-74s with those Bakelite mags that Potato was telling me they haven't made that shit since the 70s. And I don't know, they just look scared. They got pocket knives. Like one of them had rain boots on. Yeah, no body armor.
Like,
someone mentioned to
camping?
me that it's likely that the reason those guys are so poorly geared was that they were like part of a mechanized unit. Like maybe they were in a truck. Like that might be a mechanic in a truck, and like the truck broke down. They ran for it and got captured. Because Larry was showing me some footage from like a month ago of like FSB, which is some sort of like Russian special forces, I guess, in Ukraine, and they did not have junk gear. They had as good a gear as anyone on the planet has. They had high level optics, Western sniper rifles.
Well, don't we supply them with like the highest level shit?
No, we don't give anything to them militarily.
Like really good stuff.
They had French stuff. They had French stuff and British stuff.
I think
I'm talking about Russia.
I thought
that we absolutely helped.
So I'm talking about.
I'm confused because I think Taylor and I are talking about Ukraine, and Kyle's talking about Russia.
I am. I'm talking about Russians.
I'm
talking about Russians in Ukraine. So I'm talking about the Russians who are invading Ukraine and the gear they have.
Okay, I think we weren't on the same page. Now we are.
Yeah. So I don't know. The ones that I saw them capture today had junk, but like I said, I think someone suggested they might be some. I saw bodies in the street though, and
the FSB is the successor to the KGB, and so they're like Homeland Security kind of shit.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they have.
Well, they're like the CIA. Yeah.
Yeah, like CIA.
Is Russia putting their troops along the Poland? Is Russia putting their troops along the Poland border now? That's what I'm reading.
They could be. I don't know. I feel like this is moving so quickly. By the time this show ends tonight, will be true. Like all new info. But so like, I'm curious what, like, obviously no
that's
one,
a very big deal if they're putting
have any fucking clue what's going to go on. But like, what are people saying? Like, do they think it's likely that Russia's going to take all of Ukraine, or they're just going to take like a slice of it? Or
seems likely.
I guess that depends on the pushback. And right now, it seems like Russia's winning pretty handily. And so if it continues this way, they would want the whole thing.
I don't think there's any indication to say that Russia's winning handedly. I don't think we've seen anything.
Good.
Like all I've seen and all I've heard is like flashes in the distance and like missiles hitting things, but it's not as if there's.
I saw.
Like,
did you see that map?
Battle.
Did you see that map of the all the air bases and shit that they like instantly off the bat just fucked up across?
Well, they would have expected that though.
See, that doesn't matter.
They would have expected that.
So the issue with the air thing, it doesn't matter because like it's better that they destroyed their airports right away so that they didn't get their planes in the air because they only have 50 fucking planes. They've got 50 MiGs.
Oh, that's not many.
The Russians have like 3,000 or something like that, like fighting jet type aircraft.
Wait,
It's better that they don't get to put their planes in the air.
They can't have. They have to have more than 50.
They're MiGs. They're
no,
outdated.
1.5.
They're out.
What difference does it make?
So it was a given from the
That's
beginning.
a terrible ratio.
So it was a given from the beginning that the air part was lost because they're just in no way.
They would have seen that coming. They would have been like, okay, the first thing they're going to do is bomb all the airports. They would have evacuated them, like the personnel, and just seen it as a given. Because
they just had to
what they're going to do.
I saw video from some sort of like, I think it was from a group like what you do, Woody. Like he was some sort of amateur aircraft guy. Like he uses that airport, and he's like, "Fuck, look at this." And they've hit it with like a big bomb that made a big hole, but then maybe some other kind of bomb that makes like so many of these like 3-inch holes,
cluster bomb or some sort.
You know. And he's just like, my hobby.
That sucks. I feel
The
for
true
that guy.
casualty. Yeah.
You know, it really does suck. I did see that one guy, which I assumed, you know, whenever I see an aircraft go down, I don't know if that's Russians or Ukrainians. I don't know if we cheer or we cry because
We don't know any way to.
You're just watching things happen, not knowing if it's good or bad. You know, so I saw like one helicopter go down over water, right, and the two pilots coming out in parachutes. That water looked cold. What's the temperature like in Ukraine right now?
Oh, it's got to be awful.
Fucking cold.
I can't imagine it's ever nice.
It's snowing.
Like I always picture Russia's freezing all the time.
Oh, come on, Ukraine in spring.
Ukrainian spring.
Let's go hire a yacht and we'll just watch from the Black Sea.
Yeah, it's 35 degrees. Okay, that's not awful, but it's not even
35.
I did see some pictures and videos of shot down Russian helicopters, like the KA-52, the version of which is essentially like an Apache. And
in the field?
It was, and apparently they shot it down with a Stinger missile, which is like from the 80s. So it's like,
oh, it's pretty retro.
So it looked like the missile had exploded near it and like splattered it with shrapnel, because I saw like a lot of little damage on the heli. It's one of those helis that's got like the two things of rotors on top and like the crazy bank of like it has wings with missiles attached on a heli. And but it's just parked in a fucking field now, and all these. I always liked it a little bit, at least, like when one of our like space age fucking drones would get shot down over Afghanistan, and then you'd have that footage of like goat herders like stomping on it.
So literally Black Hawk Down.
You know, it's like they've never seen anything like this before. It might as well be some Star Wars shit landing in the streets of Brooklyn. But so they're just like stomping on and stuff. But that's kind of how it was. Like these like people had just now had control of God knows what one of those costs. You know, tens of millions, maybe $100 million. I don't know.
$220 million US.
Jesus Christ! Imagine how many rubles that is.
Well, is there anything else on Ukraine and the world that we can enlighten people 3 days from now? On what?
Any bets?
This is fun because we could look really dumb in 3 days. I bet that Russia quickly like scatters their troops around the country, but that there's infighting and sniping going on, like that kind of resistance, like the Iraq sort of like, hey, we did it, we rolled in at 80 miles an hour and took the whole country, and then afterwards, oh shucks, you know, that now there's what do you call it, like a
guerrilla fighters?
Guerrilla fighters, maybe what I was looking for. There's another word that I can't think of, but you know, guys popping. Insurgents, yes. I kept saying insurrection in my head. Now there's insurgents like popping up all over the place, causing trouble.
That would be my bet as well.
I think
if they try and hold out, then they'll probably just ramp up the bombardments, and then it'll just become really bloody.
Russia's not. I'm sorry, I thought there was a break. Russia's not kind like America is. Like America moved into Iraq, and they're like, we're trying to win over their hearts and mind. I think Russia will move into Ukraine and be like, we are trying to get them to quit. Fuck these guys. You know, that's how we won World War II. I
think you're right, but I also think that's a very charitable take towards the U.S. and how we handled Afghanistan and Iraq. We fucked up millions of people's lives by doing that, innocent people.
We saved them. I think they're a democracy now, and they're grateful for it.
And if they're not, let us know, because we know the way back.
No more democracy, please. Like, we can't handle 20 more years of
My
democracy.
arsehole still hurts from the last democracy.
You need any more freedom, you just let us
Please
know.
bring us back to give us an evil despot. He can believe anything. The moon is cheese, just not democracy. they just associate democracy with fighter jets and tanks. But
Fucking
yeah, it is interesting. I don't know what's going to happen. It seems like what you said makes the most sense. Like, of course, Russia's the stronger military, so they could do that, jump on through, and like act like that everything they've got up to that line is conquered, and then it's a big clusterfuck for a while.
They only had 200,000 troops on the border, and that's like the Ukrainian military is 200,000 troops plus called up like reservists. So I think it's gonna be a pretty bloody fight if they're gonna do it. I think they're gonna resist.
I hope it does not get to that.
What I don't know how big a factor it is the people of Russia that want peace. Like, it seems like in China, their military and a lot of their biggest fears are Chinese people not liking the Chinese government. In Russia, it seems like they have a lot of concerns about Russians not liking the Russian government. In America, I never worry about that. Like, I never really worry about civil war, I guess, until Trump was president. But prior to that, it was never like there was going to be some insurrection, people trying to overthrow our own government. Now at Russia, they're protesting in the name of peace. Like, they're all over. I think it was Moscow. I forget. Maybe you've seen the video and stuff.
Yeah, I saw one in like St. Petersburg.
Yeah. Okay. Like, is that going to have any impact? Is Putin going to care if his people are mad?
No. Apparently, there's been like 1,000 people.
There was a quote.
Hang on, let me get my bet in for what happens. It was my idea, and then everybody went, and then we started talking about other stuff. It seems like they want to take the leadership over with the attacks on Kiev, like them trying to take the airport, them coming in from the north via Belarus, and then and all the strikes in the capital. If they're able to like kill the leadership, you would think that's kind of it. That like everything could just fall at that point. I don't know what happens in a modern war when the president is captured or killed. Or if then the capital is like taken, and then they start shooting cabinet members until one says, "I'm the president now," and they say, "Okay, so what do you think we should do? We should declare peace." All right, president, go declare peace. Like that could easily happen quickly. But if that doesn't happen, you would imagine that I don't know, this thing's going to go on for a long time, because they're passing out rifles right now to the civilians. They passed out 10,000 rifles in one city today to just anyone who would take one. Well, maybe if you want military hardware, like I don't know what they're passing out.
I'm joking, but that's a good point.
No, but you make a good point. Like it would be more difficult because, like, I mean, I guarantee all my neighbors have guns, even if I don't. Like they're guns everywhere.
They'd give you one if you needed it.
Yeah.
But I think that like the main point that would make it hard to conquer the US is just like the pride in US. Like the second someone landed, there wouldn't be cars driving. There would be cars driving away, but there'd also be an equal amount of cars driving there to help. In the US, I think it'd be traffic jams in both directions. Just
dude, that is such an accurate like depiction of the US. Like if they're like Russia's going to invade fucking Tampa, like all of Georgia will be like, we're tailgating Tampa till the Russians get there. Just drive all down there. You know, at this time, Gators fans and Bulldogs fans alike can both get drunk and miss professional Russians shooting at them.
Yeah,
except for one professional Russian.
They would be trying to. There'd be rednecks and bass boats. There'd be some sort of navy formed.
Yeah. Some dude with
There's only one man in the United States with an expertise on Russian military strategy, banned from owning a gun by his own military. In this world, they call on Kyle Myers to take back Tampa from the Russians. I'm going to need 600 watermelon and zombie fucking target. Kyle Myers plays Dmitry Potapov. That'd be great. What a dumbass.
Except from the old
you know that's what it would do.
I'll cry
like,
when I'm done killing.
But the whole time he was from Georgia.
So we'll see how it plays out. If nothing else, it's kind of morbid to say this, but it's been fascinating to see like this thing play out through the internet and everything and on TV and stuff.
True.
And it's pretty awful to see all those
Yeah.
dead bodies though. I've been on combat footage, looking at like, you know, the nitty-gritty videos, and I've seen a lot of dead people.
Yeah. Like,
You know, I
that's-
did see that one clip. It's like a woman in, forgive me for saying this, but a poorer neighborhood than I've ever been in, looking out her window. And it's important to say that because a Russian jet flies over and shoots 2 missiles at it. And it's like, there's no way there was anything of strategic value in there, right? Like I don't know anything about anything, but I've played a lot of video games. I know that if you've only got 2 bombs in your airplane, you don't drop them on the little town over here where the woman's hiding in the apartment. Maybe you look for an airfield or a fuel depot or a bunch of bad guys or at least a fucking truck. And
Yeah,
it's
you play the
like,
objective.
you play the objective. He's test firing some weapons on and like I'm sure anybody who's hearing this can find the footage. Dude literally fires some kind of I don't know weaponry, but fires some kind of a missile rocket type fucking armament out of a goddamn jet.
Yeah, I think I saw that one.
And
I didn't know that
the
it was.
house
I
next
couldn't
to
tell
her.
it was hitting. I couldn't tell it was hitting the building. I thought it was like barely going over the building she was in.
He
She was,
struck
like,
her
looking up.
neighborhood.
Yeah.
like he
Oh,
killed
then
one of her
maybe I saw
neighbors for
something.
sure.
I must have seen a different one.
She's like,
that's insane.
And the plane's like straight over her and like hitting like rocketing like her neighborhood. But I don't know. I've seen a bunch of crazy shit, and the tank convoys are. We could probably get off the Ukraine thing. It's going to be a wild week of this, and I'm going to keep my eye on it because it's fascinating. But we can shift.
I can't stop
is.
watching it. Like all day yesterday, I'm streaming, and all I could do was I couldn't concentrate on the game. People are just posting like endless videos in chat. I'm just watching them. I couldn't. You can't not watch. It's like looking at a train wreck in slow motion.
Exactly. Yeah, it's horrible, but you can't look away. But we should jump to something else. I think.
Yeah.
I
It's
think we've done enough on
one thing the Ukraine thing isn't, and that's funny. Unfortunately, I don't know how to make
It
that
is
one
not
funny.
funny. I did my best with you defending Tampa, but
Yep.
that's all I could think.
Yep.
But yeah,
We can start
Is there
making too
anything-
soon jokes.
And just to be
too
clear,
soon as it's like not happening yet.
Yeah.
Or the worst is yet to come. Hopefully, the worst isn't yet to come, but it seems like it has to be.
Definitely is.
Like
Yeah.
it just fucking started. Like no matter
yeah,
how
for
much
sure.
people want it to not happen, it's gonna happen. Is there anything fun happening in anyone's world that's not about like global war and catastrophe?
It's always something,
bombings?
right? I feel like the last few
Yeah.
years, it's been like lots of like historical moments and have happened, and it's like kind of done with that. I'd like to like live through some more of those years that were like people won't be studying about what's happening to me right now.
Yeah. We need to get out of the important years. Like so when we're really old, we can look back and be like, oh yeah, I remember 20 and 22 and like all that. But hopefully it's not, oh yes, the easy years. Like in 2020.
I remember when
like, it
things
gets
were
way worse.
good.
Yeah.
I remember when you could go to the supermarket to buy food. Oh god.
Dude,
Yeah, I remember when meat was available. Oh, those were the
Yeah.
days.